Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, surprise, surprise. I'm doing a Sunday video. This is going to be 10 minutes with Bill Sienkiewicz, focusing on Moon Knight and his influence of Neil Adams. I was looking at Jay Lee, J-A-E, Lee, this morning, and like some of the Namor stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, this stuff is so cool, and it's like the Bill Sienkiewicz kind of thing coming in, and some of the pieces were reminding me of like Neil Adams, and I went like, that's really interesting. And then I remembered the video series that I had started a while ago called Influence Chain, and I thought, well, you know what, this is really really cool. We're having Neil Adams is on our mind, and this is a really cool transition into more videos. So we're going to do 4 of these. Not today, but after Sienkiewicz, I'm going to do an artist that I feel was influenced by Bill, and then another iteration of the Neil Adams to Bill Sienkiewicz to artists coming up, and then another artist. So it should be really fun. So anyway, let's go into full screen mode. Make sure you smash the like button on this. If we get it to 200, I will approach Bill and ask him if he'd like to come on and maybe do like a short interview or something like that. I mean, he does do interviews on YouTube channels, so I think my channel is strong enough that it might lure him in. Who knows? Never know. But anyway, 100, we'll do a longer video on Bill, and let's go. All right, so this is Moon Knight fighting Daredevil. These are from the early 80s, and let's see if we can find out exactly when. 1981. Long before I was collecting comic books, but I know the history of this kind of thing, and I know that some of Bill's early work was definitely Neil Adams inspired. He wrote a real nice tweet about him that I think he said that he lost his artistic father, was how he referred to it. So it's really, really cool. But it'll be fun. If you've watched the other videos, you'll have Neil Adams fresh in your head, and you'll be able to see little things. I'll try to point out some. And you know, look, Bill really became his own artist, and he is highly influential in comics. I mean, Bill Scott, he has a very cool set of influences himself, and so I was looking at Mark Beecham yesterday, and Beecham is clearly influenced by Sienkiewicz. But there's just artists from that family, Bernie Fuchs and Francis Bacon, and just, you know, some Gustav Klimt. It goes all over the place, but yeah, this is really cool. But you know, maybe intrinsically, Bill got some of the energy from Neil's work, and because, like I said in the video yesterday, Neil has got something really magical going on with his figures that even people that we consider energetic artists don't completely hit as well as he does. And another way to achieve it is sometimes just through things like scratchy lines and splatter and things like that, just to give it a little oomph. Clean art tends to read a little slower, so. The goal is to hit around 10 minutes on this. I thought this was really neat. This is from a Hulk story. There are some things that are later in his career, but if they had the vibe, or I thought that they were interesting enough for this video, I went for it. And this is really, really cool. I'd never seen it before, to be honest. Oh, this. Neil had so many great monsters, even though this is much later in Bill's career. I thought it was fun because Neil just always had crazy. This is Brood. Neil always had crazy monsters coming in and out of his his splash pages and stuff like that. And they were so cool. Lots of teeth and arms in crazy positions, ready to kick some butt. We saw a few big headshots of the Joker, and obviously Dave McKean had a very iconic Joker too. But this is pretty wild. My computer is locking up. I'm going to switch tools. Like, my mouse is like not wanting to play nice with the computer right now. Ah, this is so cool. So this is from a Batman story. Again, not too like not around the Moon Knight era, but what's cool about Bill's stuff too is I mean, he's really, really good from working from photo reference, but he's really good at creative drawing too. And so sometimes you get this really interesting blend of cues that are realistic, but then also this just off the wall energy that really is a nice blend. So it's really, really cool. Man, some of this rendering in here. Let's see, brush like right in here is really cool. Let me just get a full screen and grab a darker color. All right, now we can go back into full screen mode. Yeah, the ink lines in here and here and here. Even stuff like this, he gets away with some really interesting techniques in his work, like this stuff. Really, really nice, like the way he shows the calf and has these really cool like lines coming up around it. It's good stuff. This is from Dune. But Neal was so good at using photo reference in his work. I thought that these were fun to see, that have kind of more of an illustrated comic kind of vibe where, you know, but it's like, could almost be like a Sunday strip. Man, this is so cool. His Dune work is nice. I actually like it in black and white. Like an artist edition of it would actually be really interesting. This is another page from Dune. Really, really, really nice. This almost has like kind of like a Micheluzzi, a couple of Italian illustrators kind of have some of this vibe. That's really cool. This monster. This head is crazy. It's pasted down. They did who knows, maybe the actor or the movie company wanted correction, or maybe Bill just didn't like his original head on it, but it's really, really cool looking. So this is a lone Wolf and Cub painted cover. I just liked it and saw it, and I fought the urge to grab too many. I've done long videos on Bill. If you really want to see a Sienkiewicz video, if I didn't mention it already, I do have a few. Someone asked for Lee Weeks. I looked, because I knew I had done a video on Lee Weeks. It's a Patreon exclusive video, but it's an hour and 22 minutes. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I'm not kidding when I say I've got around 600 or 700 videos on Patreon. I would say 50% of them are more like art lessons than like what I do on YouTube. I just separated the two concepts, which is YouTube is more a playground. Patreon, I try to make it even more educational. This is really nice. His lighting, the way that he lights figures and stuff like that, reminds me of Neal. Look at this. This is really nice, too. This is from, I think, Big Numbers, maybe. I'm trying to remember. Does it say? I can't remember what this was from. Really, really cool. This was nice. This is from, oh gosh, what was it? It might have been New Mutants. I mean, I know it's Nightcrawler, but I think the book was New Mutants. Neal did a lot of shots like this. Which it's funny is because Mark Beecham did it too. I was saying, I was kind of checking out some Mark Beecham stuff yesterday. Beecham would do a lot of shots like this from the back, usually with girls, you know, looking at their butts. But this is cool. This is definitely from New Mutants. I fought the urge to grab too much of this stuff because it's really Bill in his own realm at this point. But it's still fun to see some of the shot choices and things that he does that maybe are at their core from Neal. This is a beautiful piece. And just threw in a few extras, just some eye candy. It's really nice. I know, Kitty, you love Neal Adams, you love Bill Sienkiewicz. This is why I'm doing the videos. Stop complaining. Look at this. This is so badass. Stop. Yeah, it was really cool. Small, it kind of was like, it just had a really, really kick-ass vibe. Again, more of these back shots. You don't, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because I mean, it would depend on who the artist is, but I don't see a ton of artists doing shots like that. To be honest, maybe they do, and I just looking at the wrong people. But seems like a fairly, some ways. I mean, you always have to draw shots of people from behind flying or whatever. If depending on what you're drawing. I mean, I did it in Crystal Planet, but the way that the legs are and stuff like that feels like Adams. This is cool. These are such classic old school things. In some ways, honestly, the inking on this looks a little bit like when Stephen Platt inks himself. Stephen would get more rendery, but I've seen a few black and white copies of Steven's stuff, and again, he would put more lines, but some of the like exterior, like halo lines and stuff like that, sort of have a little bit of that vibe. And I mean, he did do Moon Knight, so it's not that much of a stretch. He just moved through his styles so fast. This was pretty cool. It's kind of funny too, because I mean, Moon Knight obviously has got a lot of attention now because of the show or whatever. So it's kind of like, again, one of these. Man, Neil had that one with the boots, and I think it was yesterday's video. Oh my god, it was so good. It was, who was it, Green Arrow or something? Jumping. There was some character jumping, and the feet were like at a really cool angle, like underneath their ass. So we should be creeping up on 10 minutes. I don't think I have too many more. I kind of know about how many pages I can select to keep it right around that time. And look, I mean, Bill's career spans many, many years, so it would have been very easy to go way over and do all kinds of different stuff. I mean, I know Kelsey and I were both huge fans of him inking John Buscema on Wolverine. Is really, really cool, just as like a small example of all the stuff that we were missing on, but my other videos will definitely cover some of that stuff. This is really, really nice. Another one of these. This is great too. And you know, if you know Neil's stuff real good, you may be able to find things real similar to these fight scenes in his work. It's very possible. So it's tricky stuff to draw until you get used to it. Like fights are definitely. Even when you draw well, having two characters fight in a comic book sequence is definitely its own sort of special challenge that you get better at as you do it. Most people start with stuff like this. And then you start getting where you're like, it doesn't look right. It's too boring. It's not exciting. It's like needs more energy. You start realizing like cropping it tighter, having characters flying in and out of the panels, and it's almost what you don't draw starts to emphasize it too. This is really great. Texeria is another guy who, and I think there was another artist, maybe McDuffie. I was looking at some of the continuity stuff yesterday in the different books. Richard Bennett worked on Earth 4 with him, which was actually very cool, and did some other stuff too. But yeah, you can find all kinds of names in those continuity books from the early 90s. But Tex on Megalith did some really, really kick-ass stuff. It's Tex almost, Mark Texeria, almost reined in, but it's so good. He's drawing so good on Megalith. Okay, we should move towards ends. This actually did really feel like Neil, and even kind of look like him. So hopefully this was fun and a like a nice little surprise for your Sunday. And look at this. This is really cool. Crazy rendering on the cape. Man, that's wild. It's funny because even foot placement can be identifiable to a particular artist, because if you look at the Telos cover that I inked over Neil and his original Superman cover, even though this guy's legs are more spread out, it is similar to how he plants the feet. And you'll see that with other artists too, where like if they do a full figure standing, they'll have a unique way that they sort of plant the figure, sort of the body language and whatnot. And again, that's not, the body language on that is different, but the foot position isn't. This is really cool. More characters running in. And also, I was going to say too is if okay, so we're at the end. If you know a couple of comic book artists or even illustrators that influence Neil Adams, let me know, because we can scoot it one person or a few people in front of Neil and look at that stuff too, and kind of see the whole sort of lineage of it if you want. So next video I'll do is someone who I think is influenced by Sienkiewicz, who influenced the fourth person that I'm going to say. But like I said, we can scoot it one before Neil Adams if you guys want. So, all right, you guys have a great day. And then I'm going to do a Patreon pick this week, later in the week. So that'll be coming too. But I'll do this influence chain first. We'll complete the first full-on influence chain. I think the other video I did was multiple artists in one video, but since we're doing these 10-minute videos, we can do it that way. But all right, you guys have a great Sunday. I'll see you not tomorrow, but Tuesday. So have a good one. Bye. You can catch up.